Good afternoon. It's late afternoon. I wasn't going to do a video today. I'm just doing laundry and it was going to be just a lazy day for me. It's been cold most of the day. It finally warmed up and it's supposed to rain the next few days. So I'm not even going to worry about the garden right now. So the reason I decided to do a video is because somebody asked me a question. And before I forget about it, I will answer it. They asked me how I broke my shoulder in Scotland. I mentioned that in my I think it was the last video. I thought I had talked about it in another video. I don't remember. Anyway, so my daughter and I went to Scotland back in April of last year, and end of April. And our first day in Edinburgh, we got to our little hotel and we were going to take a nap because it was a long flight and we were tired. The person there at the hotel told us that we should go enjoy the evening because it was a beautiful day, and it was, and they didn't get very many days like that. And so instead of going to take a nap and maybe getting up later and going out and grabbing a bite to eat, we went out then and we were walking around the streets, and the streets were cobblestone, and I was trying to walk and look up at the beautiful buildings at the same time, which was a big mistake because as I was walking across one of the little streets, I fell. And my daughter just watched me. She was 5 or 6 feet ahead of me because I was walking too slow. And I kept looking around me. Too bad I didn't stop and look around instead of trying to walk and look at the same time. So I fell with this arm outstretched in front of me over my head really hard. It hurt so bad. It was probably one of the worst pains I've ever felt besides being in labor with my kids. I couldn't get myself up. My daughter couldn't get me up. And I laid there. It was really embarrassing. I laid there for 4 or 5 minutes trying to figure out how I was going to get up off the ground because I couldn't leverage myself with that arm at all. I didn't have the strength in my legs and my other arm to get myself up, and without the use of this one, I wasn't going to get up. So finally, a young American guy came over and he helped me up. If he hadn't come over, I would still be laying there in the street. Yeah. So it was really bad. So we immediately stopped, and we were both hungry, although my appetite went way down after that because I was in so much pain. And we found a little sandwich shop along that street really close by, and we just ate in there. And the people were really nice in there. There was a guy and a young woman in there, and I was in tears. I was in so much pain, and we told them I fell, and they offered ice, and I was like, oh no, I'm fine. And she brought me an ice pack anyway. It was really sweet. Yeah, so I was in pain the rest of our trip. I did find a pharmacy and got some paracetamol. Bought some more later in a little grocery store, it's basically Tylenol, acetaminophen. I was really worried that I broke my shoulder. So I finally went, and instead of going right away, I waited till like 3 in the morning to go. We had scheduled a tea, a Harry Potter themed tea, because both my kids grew up with Harry Potter, and I love the stories too. And it was my daughter's birthday week, and that's the one thing she wanted to do. So I didn't want to mess that up. So instead of waiting till daylight to go, I figured we would go then, because in the States it takes forever, hours. You can be sitting there for 4 or 5 hours in an ER. So I didn't want to ruin the tea we had, especially since it was already paid and my daughter was looking forward to it. Well, we both were. So anyway, we went in like 3 in the morning. We took a Uber, I think. Was it Uber? I don't know if it was Uber. It was an Uber like, I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, it was, we went to the hospital there and spent a couple hours there. The only reason I think we had to stay so long was because we had to wait until the little clinic was open there at the hospital, because it was more of an urgent care thing than an ER visit. Because of course I wasn't dying. I felt like I was dying, but I wasn't. And I didn't know how things worked over there, so the only thing I could think of to do was go to an ER. So that's what I did. I have insurance through my old job in retirement. I also bought us both travel insurance just in case. And that's the first time I had ever, might have been the second time. I think I did it on another trip that we took. But as you get older, I used to not travel with travel insurance, but the last couple times I think I did, because I'm getting older and you just don't know what's going to happen. You may have to be care flighted back to the States, medevaced out to the US. So, and I tried to pay. They told me it was free, which I was shocked. I thought they would at least charge me something. I got an x-ray, and then I talked to the nurse practitioner there, and they said that it wasn't broken. They couldn't see a break. A radiologist hadn't seen it though. That would be a couple weeks down the line before an actual radiologist read the x-ray. So I thought I just had a rotator cuff tear and it would take time. They gave me a sling and told me just to take the paracetamol that I had already gotten. And then be checked out if I was still having pain when I got back home. And so I got back home. I was still hurting, but I thought it was just going to take time to heal. And so I finally went, I think it was about 6 weeks, I went to my doctor and asked if I really need to be concerned because the pain was still there. And so they took x-rays again. They didn't see anything on it. And then sometime after, I got a letter from Scotland, the hospital there, and they told me to call because they had further information about my injury. And so I called them, and they told me, the nurse practitioner who saw me that day told me that the radiologist had actually found a very small fracture in the shoulder. So that was the very first time I'd ever gotten a fracture in any bones. I was 61 years old. I guess it's a good thing. Yeah, so I'm very careful about what I do. When I go hiking now, I always bring my walking stick, because last year I fell on one of the little trails me and my friend walk on, and if she wasn't there, I don't know if I could get up on my own. I didn't hurt myself, but I think because I landed on gravel, I don't know, gravel and dirt. But it kind of scared me, because if nobody came around for a while, I would still be laying there. So I always take my walking stick now when I go out on a walking trail, especially by myself. That way I can get leverage. If I'm not hurt, didn't break a hip or something, I could leverage myself at least and get up off the ground. So that's my story about breaking my shoulder in Edinburgh. It still hurts. So enough about the shoulder. I was gonna make some homemade tortillas, flour tortillas. I looked up a recipe, but then I remembered I had all these pita, well, not all, I have 2 pita bread left in the freezer, and I'm just gonna use it just to use it up. I'm running out of, why is there sausage in this? Did I put sausage in my beans? I don't remember doing that. I guess I put sausage in my beans. So I was gonna top it off with refried beans, mushed. I did not know I had sausage. So I suppose I'm going to maybe I'll blend it all up and just make a paste. Or, no, I think I'll do that. I'm gonna get my little blender, my mini blender. I was gonna try and make like a little bean and cheese tostada kind of thing in the air fryer. Yeah, food's getting a little scarce now on my little $25 eat out of the freezer and cabinet type thing. So let's see if I can see this. It just tastes like refried beans. Still a little frozen. Sadly, I'm running out of cheese too. I have a little Parmesan, this tiny bit of cheddar, and American cheese slices left. So today's Thursday, so I have until Tuesday that I have to try and make this last, what food I have left. I don't know if I can do it. I already got tired of the soup I made the other day, so. It's taco sauce. I could put some chives from the garden on here. So I decided to put the chives on after I air fry this. So here is my, I don't know what you would call it, my kind of tostada on pita bread. Okay, I'm gonna try a bite. It's okay. It's not the best thing I've ever eaten. I think the taco sauce and the cheese make it edible. I'm probably going to eat the pasta and spaghetti sauce that I thawed out of the freezer. There's probably 4 or 5 servings, I think. Doesn't leave a whole lot left. I have a couple cans of ravioli in the closet, a bunch of soup, bean and vegetable soup, too much. I think I have 1 fish fillet up in the freezer and a few vegetables, frozen vegetables up there. Still have a lot of, maybe 4 bags of bell peppers. Not a whole lot left. I'm still gonna try and string it out through Monday and go shopping on Tuesday. I don't know if I can make it that long. I may have to go grab something, like a sandwich or something at a fast food place one of those days, because I'm already getting tired of the bean and vegetable soup that's up there. I had to put the part of it in the freezer with the other containers that I put in there when I first made it. I think I have 2 eggs left. I have a little bit of cereal for breakfast. I have maybe 1 or 2 servings of cream of wheat left, and I think 2 servings of oatmeal. So I think breakfast is good. Very little cheese left. But I'm determined to not go shopping for food until the 1st of April. Even if I do have to go get like a quick sandwich or something, just to break up the monotony of the soup that's in there. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for your questions. It's given me ideas for at least a few videos, so that's good. I'm hoping we don't get hit by too bad of a storm. Sunday we're supposed to get a really bad storm in. So I'm going to finish doing all my laundry in case we lose power. I'll have clothes to wear through however long it takes to get power back. Dogs are still here. Thank you all for watching. Take care. Bye.